Welcome everyone. Today we are going to start our tutorial on how to build a IQ tester on SolidWorks and as well Mastercam. So today we are going to start off on SolidWorks. Open that up. And then from there we're going to take what we create in SolidWorks, move it to Mastercam, and get it ready for our CNC to be able to operate on. So hopefully this should just take a moment or two to get SolidWorks open. There we go. Okay, so what we do is first we're going to select, there's part, assembly, drawing. So basically we're going to work with a part today. An assembly is an assembly of parts, and a drawing is a drawing of either a part or an assembly, which we're going to get into drawing a little bit more later, but we're going to start off with part because that's what we're creating today. Okay, don't worry about that extend SolidWorks thing on the side. Once you click sketch, it'll get rid of that. So the first thing that's very important is we're going to, after we click sketch, we're going to select the front plane. So we're always going to work on the front plane. Okay, so everyone can remember that. Click front plane. Perfect. Very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have my setup in inches, my SolidWorks setup in inches. As you can see, I already do. As you can see in the bottom, you can see the 4.09 inches. So it's already set up in inches, but we'll go and I'll show you the process anyway. So if you want to change it from millimeters to inches or whatever other setup it is, you're going to go settings, document properties, then you're going to go units, and you're going to select inches, inch, pound, second. So we already have that there. We're going to press OK when you're all set, and that's all set up for you. So next step here is we are going to draw our rectangle to get started. So I'm just going to throw that rectangle in there. It doesn't really matter the sizing. Say yes, happy with that. And then once we do that, we're going to click on Smart Dimension. So Smart Dimension is what is how you can size your object. I could have as well mentioned before this, I clicked on rectangle, but you can also do straight lines. You can do circles, you can do 3-point arcs, straight slot, not really sure what that is, but polygons, all that good stuff. So first of all here, going to dimension that 5 inches, and this size as well 5 inches. So I will note when you are going to do a dimension, you want to go right on the corner. You see that orange circle? That means you're on the very corner. Other side, find the corner again, and that's how you know you're doing the right thing. Perfect. So I have my 5x5 square all ready to go. Let's click the green check mark saying it's all good. Next step, so we have our face. Now we want to get our thickness. So to get our thickness, we are going to click on Features, and then we're going to click on Extrude Boss Base. Okay, when we're doing this, very important, you click here, you're pulling it backwards, not forwards, always backwards. Okay, so I can just let that go. You can, as you can see on the right there, there's like, I'm on 1.04. You can try to do it yourself manually, or you can just let it go and type it in. So if I type it in, we want 0.75. Enter. Perfect. Green check mark. And we're all set. All right. Now, next thing, I'll show you view orientation. So if you go view orientation, that's your different sides. You can see your top view, left, front, right, back, and bottom. There's also the ISO view there. Alright, so we are going to work on the front view right now. And then, yeah, say if you had screwed up the sizing, you couldn't see, you can just click on there, zoom to fit. So that'll fit right to your screen. Okay? Alrighty. So, first thing we're going to do here is we are going to sketch our circle, our first little circle for our IQ tester. So we're going to click on Sketch. After you click Sketch, it's very important you click on the surface. So I'm going to click right on my surface there. Then I'm going to grab my circle. And I'm going to just draw a circle. Doesn't matter how big it is. Just going to throw that in there. Perfect. So the circle's there. I'm going to say green check mark. Good to go. Then I'm going to grab my Smart Dimension tool. And I am going to make it the diameter, the desired diameter that we want, which is what? 0.125. Make that 0.125. Enter on that. See how we have 0.13, but I put in 0.15. So that's because it's set to 2 digits. If you want to change that, you go Settings, Document Properties, Dimensions, and you're going to change the primary precision here to 3 decimal places. And now you can see 0.125. Perfect. Alright, so I'm still on my Smart Dimension. I now want to put the circle in the right place. So it says 3/4 of an inch off on this side. So we'll go 0.75. And the same to the other side. So you can see how I'm clicking. If I zoom in here, I'll show you. Not on the center, on the outside of the circle. Drag it over just to this edge. I'm going 0.75. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to zoom to fit again. And we're all set there. Now, I could go and try to draw all these circles and be very difficult and challenging and not fun. But instead of that, I'm going to click on my circle. Oops. Click, there you go, circle, and then I'm going to click linear sketch pattern. And I come over here. So the spacing, I want 0.75 spacing, which you can see in the drawing, and I want to go 5 across. 0 degrees for now, and let's do that. Boom. So we have our 5 dots, or our 5 circles across. Notice I put in 5, so it counts the one you already have there as included. So it's not 1 plus 4, it's 5 total. Perfect. Now I'm going to click on that again. Oh, I'm already clicked on it. I'm going to linear sketch pattern. And then this time I'm going to go same spacing, 7.5. But this time I want to go 5 on a 60-degree angle. Why 60-degree angle? Because it's up there. So it goes up on a 60. And now I can finish this off by going linear sketch pattern again. Keep it on the x-axis at 0 degrees this time again. Same spacing. We want 4. 0 degrees. And boom. Perfect. Keep it going. Now we want 3. Same spacing. 0 degrees. Perfect. And the last one here. 75 to bingo. Awesome. So we're all set. We have all of our circles good to go. So we're happy with that. Everything is good. So now we're going to go and we are going to grab our features, because what are we going to do? We're going to push these circles in, right? Because you look at your drawing there, and these circles need to go in 0.375 inches. So instead of extruding boss base, that's to pull it out. We're going to go extrude cut, which pushes it in, which is what we want here now. Perfect, and we want it to go 0.375. And I'm going to click on my check mark twice. And now I'm going to show you the ISO view to show you that it worked. There you go. So you can see it's kind of in there. Perfect. So let's go back to the front view. I'm going to go grab our sketch again. Sketch, click our face, that face. And we're going to go with the circle. And we're going to draw a circle. Accept that. So, as you can notice here, I have sketch 2 and sketch 3 are separate sketches on the same face. You need to do these as separate sketches because they have different extruded cuts. So the small circles are extruded cut 0.375 and the big circle is extruded cut 0.5. Now, if they were both going in on the same extruded cut, you could draw them all at the same time. These are not going in the same distance, so we have to do two separate ones. Okay? Now, so we have that drawn. I'm going to grab my smart dimension. And what's our diameter? It is 1.5. Perfect. It is, how far from there? 1.25. And 1.25 from there. Perfect. Right where we want it. Happy with that. I'm going to say I am good with the dimensions. Then I go to my feature again. I'm going to go extruded cut. And this time it is 0.5. Perfect. Give her a check. And we are happy. Extruded cut's good. Our circle's in there perfect. We are all set with that. Now, so that's all done. We have our shape, or our IQ tester, sorry, ready to rock and roll. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Material. I'm going to right click on Material. Why am I doing that? Because I want to edit material, because we are making this out of oak. Let's say we're going to make it out of oak. So you can go down, after you right click on Material, you can go to the wood. What type of wood? We're going to go oak. Perfect. Apply. Happy with that. Now we have our nice oak looking finish on our lovely IQ tester. Okay? And that is how we do that in SolidWorks. Alright, so that is part 1 of the tutorial. Part 2, we're going to look at how to do the drawing, on SolidWorks for this. So, alright, step 2 to this process is we are going to do the drawing for our part that we just created in SolidWorks. Why are we doing this drawing? Well, simply, once you do the drawing for the part that you've created, if the drawing matches up with the drawing you were given to start with, then you know that you did it right. So it's basically checking your work, and that's what I want. That's a solid practice that I want us to establish in our class. So we're going to get to that now. So we're going to click on drawing. It's not part, not assembly, drawing. Alright, so for you guys, if we haven't already done the template, we can start with creating a template. I myself actually already have a template created. So I'm going to cancel this, close out of here, just going to load this back up. And what's going to happen here is you'll create your template, okay? And then whenever you want to use that template, which would be anytime you do a drawing, you're just going to open your template document and then just, once you're finished with the drawing, save it as something else. So your template will always be there. And I'll show you what I mean in approximately 2 seconds. Here we go. So I'm going to go, I'm going to go, no, not that. X out of there. I want to open, I want to open my template. Alright, there you have it. So I have my name, and that is my course where I did, where I learned how to use SolidWorks. I'm going to click on 03, and I'm going to rename it to IQ Tester. When you do that, you can highlight what you have written, change the font, fold it up, whatever you want to do really, and that's fine. All right, so once you're happy with your template, you're gonna right click, and you're gonna go edit sheet. Awesome. So now, when I want to put a shape in there. I want to put a part. I want to put our part in here that we've been working on. So I'm gonna click on Model View. So I do that. I need to pick a document. I don't have any documents here, so I'm gonna go Browse, and I'm going to go. Where's my IQ tester? No, that's not the one I want though. Is it? Maybe it is. Okay. Let's do that. Let's open my IQ tester. Now, over here, I'm going to go, I want to create multiple views. That's important. And then the 4 views that I always want you to pick are the isometric, right, front, and top. Okay? So we're happy with that. We're going to click the check mark. Now we have our part in here. So drag that down so it looks good. Kind of rearrange this a little bit. Cool. All right, I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to click on the top one, and I'm going to make that shaded with edges. Okay. Perfect. Then that's just for the ISO. For the ISO is shaded with edges. 3 other views, we're just going to go with the hidden lines are visible view. Okay, so we can kind of see where it cuts in different places. So we can do that for every one of the other ones, I should say. And perfect. Alrighty. So now. Now we are going to go ahead and click on the check mark, annotation, and smart dimension. So smart dimension, like before, we're just going to pick our corners, like here for example, corners, and it says 0.75. So it shows that. Remember when doing drawings that you don't want to put in every dimension. Okay, you just want to put in the dimensions that someone would need in order to do this project. Okay, so keep that in mind at all times. Okay, so see the issue again where it says 0.38 when it's supposed to be 0.375. Once again, we need to go into our settings. I'm going to go document properties, dimensions, and 3 decimal places. Perfect. Alrighty, so now let's zoom in here a little bit. So we're going to have our diameter, our distances here. Yep, sort of like that there. I like this here. Perfect. Now, it's important when you're clicking on your circle that you click on the right part of the circle. So I want to click on the circle itself and into this circle itself. Perfect. So that's our space in there. Throw our diameter in. Whoops. Excellent. This is finicky. Distance to here. I like that. And our distance to this edge. Perfect. Sides given. And we also want to have the distance, or diagonal distance. Oops, zoom in a little bit. Here to here. say, oh, it's not supposed to be 0.650, that's not right. But the thing is, that's showing a vertical line. If you want to, there you go. If you want a diagonal dimension, you have to keep it a little finicky. Here you go. Perfect. Okay. Happy with that. Once again, reset zoom to fit if you want to get the full image. And then up here, there's a few more dimensions that we might need. Awesome. All right. So, if you'll notice, this looks a lot like the drawing that I gave you at the beginning of this assignment. So, it's important that if these numbers match up to your initial drawing, that means you did it right. So, if your part looks like the drawing and your drawing matches the other drawing, then you are all set to move into Mastercam. And finally, the CNC. So, step 2 is in the books. Step 3 will be moving this over to Mastercam. So, we'll get into that now on the next bit. Hey folks, welcome back to part 3 of this process, which would be taking our file from SolidWorks and bringing it over to Mastercam. So, to start off here, we're going to go Tools. So we're in SolidWorks now, as you can see. Okay, that's our IQ tester. We're going to go Tools. We're going to go Mastercam Direct. Mastercam. Then it's imperative in this process that we have both of these boxes checked here. So if one of those is unchecked, make sure to create edge curves is checked, and then press this check mark. Now once that's done, you're just going to wait a couple of moments for Mastercam to open. Alright, now that we have Mastercam open, we can get started. First thing I can show you is if you right click, okay, you can fit your object to the screen, your IQ tester. Also, if you right click, you can get different views. So there's the top view, front, right, and isometric view. Okay, so we're going to leave it on that one for now. Next thing we can do is we can change our scale from millimeters to inches. So you see right now it's in millimeters. So we simply are going to go over to File, Configuration. Then we're going to go down here. No, that's also inches. And then down here we're going to change it to inch. It's fine. Check mark. Yes. Perfect. So then it's become very small. So then you can just right click, fit, because that means fit to screen, just like in SolidWorks. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do, we're going to set up our machine. So the machine that we're using at MUN here is a Larkin CNC. So we're going to add a Larkin and a Techno, which are the Techno is the other CNC that we also have here. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go with machine. We're going to go router. Okay, and then here at school, we have our Larkin and our Techno already here, so I can just simply, today we're going to use Larkin, so I'm just going to click on Larkin. So then my Larkin is there. I'm going to click on machine group 1, the mill, and I'm going to get rid of mill because we're not using that. If by chance you were to do this and the Larkin wasn't there, you would go manage list. Okay. And then you could just you could click on whatever you want. So click that, add check mark, and you're good to go. We don't need to do anything here. So I'm just going to X out. Perfect. All right. So we have our Larkin added. Our next step in this process is we are going to go press this plus sign and we're going to click on tool settings. So all we need to do here is we need to click on warn of duplicate tool numbers because we want to click on that. Then we're going to go here to stock setup. Okay. We are going to turn on display. Then we are going to bring this arrow over to the top left corner. So it's always the top left. You're going to click all entities. Okay. So after you do that, your parameters should be there. So like we've done, we've set it up so it is 0.75 in height and it's a 5x5 IQ tester. Perfect. And as long as our X, Y, and Z are all 0, then we know that we've done it right and we can click on check mark. All right. Once that is completed, we can start drilling. So, first thing we're going to do, we are going to go on tool paths and go in 2D. Okay. First one we're going to do is let's do our drill. So we have our drill tool path ready to go. So then when these white boxes show up, we have to make sure we always read what's in the boxes. It's very imperative that we do so. Have a look at this one. It says select one or more entities to add to remove from the features list. Click or window select solid holes, solid arc edges, wireframe arcs, lines, points, or auto cursor position. So that's fine. So we're going to click first on that one, and then we're going to drag over all of our holes that we want to drill. Perfect. So it has selected the holes that we want to drill. The only thing is we want to select the order because that wouldn't be very efficient if we kept it in this order. If we go in this route, that wouldn't be the most efficient way. So we're going to go select order. And we are going to go right here. I like that order. All right, so once that is done, that looks good to me. Yep, so we're going to go check mark. Perfect. So once we do that, we are going to go, we're going to go to our tool. Our tool is what? The one that we're working with out on here, we're doing a 1/8 straight drill bit is what we are going to use. So we're going to go select the library tool. Just because I know where it is, it should be down around 144, I believe. Yes, it is. 1/8 straight. So I'm going to select on that. Depending on which one we could be using in the classroom, it might be a different drill bit. Doesn't always have to be the same one. So I'm going to go, that's fine. And then we're going to go to linking parameters. Okay. And our linking parameters, oops, right here. So we're going to go absolute. And how deep are our holes that we're going to drill? We are drilling holes that are 0.375, so we're going to make it negative 0.375. Oops. Why is that not working? Negative 0. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Once that's finished, we're going to go check mark. Happy with that. Perfect. So that's the drilling of these holes, our small holes. That's all done. So that's perfect. Now we need to address this pocket, this circle here. So basically what's the difference? These small holes are drilled straight down to the small holes. The pocket, the bit needs to go around the outside and kind of like work its way inside. It's not something that can be done on one straight drill down. So that's why it's called a pocket. So I'm going to click on pocket. Okay, so we're on our wireframe, C-plane. It's good. Happy with that. Oh, I guess I need to click on, sorry, I need to click on my circle first. Circle is good, but be careful that arrow, sorry, we want it going clockwise. That's now in counterclockwise, so what you do here, this button right here with the reverse, you're going to click reverse, and it'll flip down the right direction. Once that's completed, we are going to click on our check mark. All right. Now we're going to go back to our tool. What tool are we going to use? Right now it's set on 1/2 straight. We're going to click here, our 1/8 straight bit again. Then we're going to go roughing. And for circles, we always use true spiral. If we are going to do like a square or rectangle, we'd use zigzag, but we're going to go true spiral here now for our roughing with a circle. Our entry motion, we're going to turn that off. Okay. Our finishing, we are going to machine finish passes only at final depth. And we're going to turn off machine finish passes after roughing all pockets. We're going to turn that off there. And depth cuts. We are going to turn depth cuts on. And we are going to make that 1/16. Okay. Why 1/16? It's because it's half of our drill bit. That is why. Then we're going to go linking parameters. It's going to be absolute. And how far is this going down? This one is negative 0.5. Okay. Perfect. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do our contour. So for that, we are going to leave it in toolpath. We're going to go up to contour. Okay. So we're going to click the top of our object. And we are going clockwise already, so that's fine. And we can just check that. Now, we're going to go start off with tool. We're going to go back and select our 1/8 straight again, like we've been doing. Then the next part here, we're going to go depth cuts. And our depth cut is as well going to be 1/16 because we have our, it has to be half of our 1/8. That is good. We're going to make our tabs. So what are the tabs? The tabs are what keep the object in place. In this case, the IQ tester in place while we're doing our drilling and cutting. So we have our tabs on. We're going to go vertical moves. Our tab thickness also needs to be changed. So the tab thickness here is going to be 1/8. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to press position. So we're going to pick where we want our tabs. So I want my tabs right here on that side, and I want one on that side. And then when you're done, you're going to press enter. After you put the 2 tabs in, brings you back here. Last step is we're going to go to our linking parameters. And for linking parameters here, it's going to be negative 0.8 y 0.8 because the thickness of our IQ tester is 0.75, so we want to go that extra little bit just to make sure we go all the way through the material. So we're going to go negative 0.8. And then we're going to click on our check mark to verify that. And then we should be all done. So I'm going to select all operations. Okay. And to verify that we did it right, we're going to verify selected operations. Now, this is not going to work the first time because it never works on the first time. It only works the second time for whatever reason. So it never worked. Perfect. Okay, cool. All good. And we're going to go back here. Press it again. And now it comes up. So, now you simply look here. We'll put it on ISO view for you. And it'll show you what is going to happen to your object. So I'm going to turn the speed down and press play. Perfect. So now we see we have all our holes drilled out. We have our pocket drilled out. And we can see that our cuts on the side went all the way down. And that's one of our tabs right there. So I can drag this around probably and show a little better maybe. Maybe not. Okay, so that's the tab right there that we keep in place. It shows that it cuts all the way. All right. And you can see the holes we drilled there and our pocket drilled. So that looks perfect. So I'm happy with that. I'm ready to create a G code to send to the CNC. What is a G code? G code is simply the code that would be uploaded to a USB maybe. Then we're going to plug that into the computer that coordinates with the CNC. We'd import our G code, okay, into the CNC and to the CNC application, and then it would run the G code and make these cuts that we just identified. So how do you make a G code? Click on G1 here when you are happy with what you've done on Mastercam. Okay. Yeah, you can just leave this as it is. As long as it says Larkin, you're in good shape. You can just click on the check mark. Okay, and then I'm going to name this IQ Tester G Code, wherever you'd want to make it, or wherever you'd want to save it. I'll just save it to my downloads. Okay, so Mastercam Code Expert is loading up for me. As you can tell, nothing is done quickly when it comes to Mastercam or SolidWorks, but that's the way it is. So now you can see the code that we just created using Mastercam. So 634 lines of code. Probably be a little more difficult to do that by hand. But yeah, so that is the end of the process. This G code will be used to import into the CNC application, and then it will make your cuts for you. Okay, that is all.